What is up, everybody? Spot of Nerd here. It is just in the nick of time, although I've cut it closer before. So, it's been a long day, I'm not gonna lie to you. My brain is not exactly there, but let's be honest, is it really ever quote unquote there? So, two interesting, although predictable discussions of topic. No, reverse topic of discussions. Gonna get interesting because, of course, everybody, if you found out today, Mr. Don Lemon had his wish granted. And no, I don't mean going to jail for obvious reasons. But he did get arrested because, for the first time in a very long time in this country, your actions have consequences. And if you're not familiar with the story, I encourage you to look into it because when you are making children scream, like when you go see Santa Claus in the mall, it's not because of who you are, it's because of what you're doing. So, we're going to go over the specifics just minorly here in a moment because I think it's actually very important to go over the specifics as what he's being indicted for. I don't know if he's excited about it, who knows? It's who he is because the question ultimately comes down to really, is he going to be a martyr? That's what the left, the progressives, all the usual ideology, political aspects of today, this is what they bet on. This is what the media wants. They want you martyrs because that way, all the shit that keeps happening, the riots, the violence, sadly, unfortunately, the people that die, it just continues. Because if you don't have this, then I know this is going to sound weird to a lot of people, but life actually goes on normally. As in, people just go about their day, about their business, doing their own thing, living their own lives without having to make their life a part of your life. It's a crazy fucking concept, I know, but we'll dive into it a little bit. And then, I'm sure pretty much many of you are familiar or have seen it or probably even follow her on Instagram, Emily King. She does the little slide thing and then tells you about how awesome dudes are. It's kind of one of the reasons I like her a lot, and a lot of other dudes like her a lot. But she's very down to earth, and she just says it like it is. Basically says that the fact of the matter is men today, not only we want peace, we want our quiet, we want our own self-worth. Sorry, again, brain not working as well. But there was a video she put out today of a young lady who, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was very good. Described the modern day feminism and the fact that it's basically destroying chivalry if it's not dead already. If you ask me, is chivalry dead today in the modern world, 2026? Abso-fucking-lutely. So yeah, that's gonna be fun, and hopefully will lead into future streams, which is day 30, if you can believe this or not. 30 fucking days straight I've been doing this shit. I don't even know why or how or if or when, but it's been fun. I want to send a huge thanks for everybody that is watching, listening, all those death threats. Love every single one of you. Especially you guys. You guys are the fun ones. Get the usual crap out of the way if you haven't already. Do me a favor, subscribe, like, comment. Just take pity out of me. I don't give a shit. Take pity. If it means my numbers go up, I don't give a shit. Fucking do it. Whatever. But moving on to Don Lemon. It's just fun to say it that way because I don't know why, but whatever. I figured it was best to kind of share, again, words, the information that is being given to the public that he has officially been indicted, charged with some pretty heavy duty stuff. Now, let's be very honest and very clear. Absolutely nothing is going to happen to this man. Nothing is going to happen. He's going to get a slap on the wrist, probably get some community hours, or he has to say an apology, whatever it is, and life will move on. And he will be going into the record as the history books, whatever they call it, as the next martyr in this quote unquote message, the message, as my famous friend, not really friend, but follower, influencer, nerdrotic would say. Because again, that is what they want. They want this to be something that sparks the next step, the next journey in whatever phase of life they might be in. Let's be honest, Don Lemon was fired because he basically told women they're kind of not really anything much more than peasants once they hit a certain age. I'm not kidding you. Look this up. It was live on air. He was with two other female co-hosts or whatever it was, and he basically told them to their face that once they hit 30, they're of no use anymore. So even CNN, being CNN, was like, yeah, that's a little too much. So even though I forget his name, I can't think of it at the top of my head. There was another one of their news anchors who literally jerked off on a Zoom call during the COVID thing, and that motherfucker still has a job. So another thing, it makes you ask yourself, if you're on a Zoom call with your employer where other people are on that Zoom call and you're whipping your dick out and you're stroking it and you still have a job, wow. How well do you know your human resources department? Holy shit. Would I kill to have that much power? The shit he must know, I can't even put into words to be able to get away with that. I can barely say ass at work without having a phone call of some kind, albeit joking, whatever it might be. To whip your cock out and literally have some fun in front of your employees, damn. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Let's just get that out of the way because let's be real. Some of us live in different realities, plain and simple. But enough about that fun stuff, if that's what you call fun. Anyway, let me share this. I found the Instagram post to be the best news source thing, whatever you want to call it, which realistically, it kind of basically detailed this a little bit better than I could, even from a news article. So, and I have to give credit, of course, to the, the Breitbart. Sometimes, again, words come difficult to me. But it says, let's see, in a post on X, CNN's Jake Tapper, hopefully he'll be the next one. I'm talking about arrested for the stuff that he's done. So he wrote on the Twitter stuff. Lemon, along with Nikima, Valez, Dahoud, Dahami, all these other people, were charged with 2 counts, according to the photos of the indictment posted by Tapper. If you've seen the video, jokes aside, it is absolutely shocking. It really is shocking what they did. They literally went into a church. They started screaming. They started shouting. They disrupted the peace, no pun intended, and legitimately made people cry. And I'm talking like, this is traumatizing to kids. I don't know. Sure, we can play the victim Olympics, every single one of us. But when you're traumatizing children, that goes on a whole new ballgame of just being a complete dick, fucking asshole. And I'm not gonna, again, not sugarcoating away from that. If you are traumatized, those kids will probably remember that and attribute that to church and may never ever feel the need to worship again. And I know some people are gonna cheer about that, but that might be a place where the family comes together, where they bring each other and have the love that they have between the nuclear family. It's really that simple. And the fact that this man has probably destroyed that, it's pretty fucked up. And I don't care who's, like, you have to think like that is fucked up to have probably destroyed that for some of these kids. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. But what else does it say here? So the defendants were charged with conspiracy against right of religious freedom at place of worship. Basically, I looked this up. What it means is they're going to preach freedom of speech, First Amendment, freedom of speech, which you have. You also have the freedom of speech to protest, yada, yada, yada. Peacefully, I might add. What it comes down to is, with this specific act thing, is you can't do it when people are peacefully worshiping. Notice how my side, the conservatives, we don't go bust up a synagogue or Islam temple or whatever it is. Like, notice how we don't do that type of stuff, because number one, we don't do stupid shit, but number two, we also don't do stupid shit, just as a heads up. So let's see. And yeah, so the defendants were charged with the conspiracy against right of religious freedom at place of worship, and injure, intimidate, and interfere with the exercise of right of religious freedom at place of worship. So kind of again along the same things. Pam Bondi confirmed that her direction federal agents arrested Dawn. The other folks. Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and he's going to plead, of course, the First Amendment exists for journalists. So again, they're trying to preach that journalists have the right to do as they please. And let's be very clear again, watch the video, do your research. He knew exactly what he was doing that day. He actually brought food and drinks to the protesters. So the fact that he's going to probably claim that he was just there walking around is complete and absolute dog shit. So let that be said. But again, these are just if you want to look these things up, this is perfectly. This is I can't take credit for this, but this is perfect. Terrorizing Christians was a severe mistake, and that is exactly what this is. You were terrorizing Christians. It's fucked up. You found out. You fucked around. You found out. And the question of the day is, and this is where I'd love to learn. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Let's be clear. It's going to turn him into a martyr. And I know broken record, it's out of nerd is what we do here. A lot of people are kind of like, yeah, this is not a good thing because this is exactly what he wants. It's going to boost his numbers for his podcast that about 12 people watch, kind of like mine. But ultimately, again, it's going to boost his presence in the social media world, in insert XYZ. And that is a bad thing. That is a bad thing. But I lean more towards the good because what other choice did we have here? Are you supposed to just, here's where, go with me on this. And it's not exactly the hardest thing to think about. We can't let this shit keep going on. Again, if you look at Pretty, whatever, the guy that unfortunately did lose his life recently with the ice incident. Obviously, again, if you've noticed, he's disappeared out of the news because they found that video of him spitting on ICE officers, kicking over their cars, breaking lights, things like that. Look it up. It's a real video, not AI. Again, you have to look at this. When are there going to be consequences? Imagine if any one of you, and I'm genuinely serious about that, I'm not trying to be funny, go and kick a cop car and tell me you didn't go to jail that night. And yet he walked away free. It was like January 13th or something like that. Again, I want to be very clear. We don't want people dead. It's something it's horrible. But you're putting yourselves in these situations. And the same thing with Don Lemon. He is desperate. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can whiff the desperation from that man. It's sad. It's pathetic. But again, when you are terrorizing other people, regardless of even just being in a church, there has to be consequences. And this is where I lean more towards of it being a good thing than a bad thing, aka the martyr side, because there has to be consequences. There has to be accountability. You can bitch and moan all you want about ICE and taking people away, quote unquote, but these are all illegal immigrants. And sure, has there maybe been a scoop up of one or two Americans? Right. They were released a few hours later because oops are bad. Mistakes are going to happen. It's reality. It's human life. But enough is enough. When you allow millions upon millions of illegal immigrants in this country to try and change the political aspect of everything you ever imagined, somebody eventually will come in and try to fix it. It ain't going to happen overnight. It's not even going to happen probably the next 4 years. But there has to come a time for accountability. And I'm sure I'm not alone in this. We have forgotten that in society. That when you do dumb shit, a lot of people get away with it. No more. And regardless of whether you hate Trump or not, with the administration, you want to call us Nazis, the Gestapo, blah, 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 blah. You're just mad because finally somebody's spanking you on the ass, metaphorically speaking. And although he might enjoy it, you kind of get my drift. Just realized how terrible of a metaphor that is because, again, it's dawn. Anyway, so yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know. Switching gears, and we'll wrap this episode up. I want to talk about this video that I saw on Emily King. Check her out on Instagram. I think she's at Emily King with underscore at the end of it. Basically talking about modern day feminism destroying. They're not. I don't think she said destroying men, but destroying chivalry. So I'm gonna play the video, and then I'll let you guys kind of let me know what you think, basically. So let me make sure. Yes, that is the right video. I'm assuming if I click this video, it's just gonna play, but there's no sound.
Modern feminism killed chivalry. Modern feminism has shifted from seeking equality to promoting superiority and resentment towards men, framing men as oppressors rather than partners and equals. With the birth of modern feminism, there came the birth of the girl boss, I don't need a man. Chivalry was never meant to make women look weak. It was made to create a culture of mutual respect where men acted honorably towards women and acknowledged their virtue and grace. Modern feminism, by demanding sameness instead of equality, has blurred those lines. In trying to erase gender differences, it's erased the gestures that celebrate them. The result
Boom.
of this is now we have an entire generation of men who are not willing to honor, pursue, or protect women. We have this
Boom.
entire generation of men who just want to hook up on the first date, who have no respect for women, who don't hold open the door, who don't buy flowers, and
Now
it's
we don't
because
even
of
want to do
modern
that, by the way,
feminism.
just FYI.
Not only that, but it is also a result of weak men. There's a reason that our grandparents have the cutest love stories where the men pursued the women and they didn't have sex until they were married and they respected and honored each other. And now we are seeing the result of the crash and burn of modern feminism. And unfortunately, it is affecting a lot of women looking for life partners and a lot of men looking for life partners. Feminism is great. The idea of feminism is great to promote equality, but it has evolved into something that is toxic and dangerous to our society. You want to know something that most women aren't ready to hear? Modern feminism killed chivalry.
There you
Modern
go.
feminism has shifted from seeking equality to promoting superiority and resentment towards men, framing.
Okay. So, what do you guys think of that? I think she's right. Now, I'm not going to tell you what parts of that video is right because, again, I do have to sometimes tiptoe around. I enjoy having a paycheck and medical benefits. We'll just simply throw the allegedly. There are parts of that video that is absolutely correct. You'll notice as I try to speak over that just ever so slightly, the fact that men want to just fuck anything that walks, I'll call bullshit on that. The good ones do not want to just bend you over and have a good time. I want to be very, very clear with that because number one, today's world, just saying hello to you gets you 20 years. Giving you a compliment will get you about 50. So, has modern feminism destroyed chivalry? Has it destroyed the relationships? Absolutely. And let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not shy away from it. Both parties are involved. Let's be honest. Both parties have their faults and have their issues, both men and women. But is she technically wrong? And again, I'm not giving you specifics as to where she's wrong. I'm simply just saying maybe parts of that might be wrong, but parts of it might be right too, allegedly. Because if you think about it, there is nothing wrong with women being girl bosses and nothing wrong with women being successful. But can you actually think for a moment, and I really want you to think about this just for a moment. The governments of the world and everybody, specifically the United States, they look at the tax brackets and go, man, this took decades. This Reagan, first Bush, blah, 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 blah. One day, the government basically told you women should also have the ability to work and vote and grow and have their own careers and blah, 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 blah. And that's correct. That's true. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was also double the income, as in double the income tax. So that's a whole nother road we don't need to go down right now. But it's just something I want you to basically put on that little cherry on the top because feminism is about equality. It is. It's about men and women having the same opportunities as one versus the other. Now, again, there's many different branches of things we can go down that could separate that. You know, you have different classes of sports. You have a women's leagues, you have men's leagues, etc. But ultimately, when it comes to employment, when it comes to politics, whatever, yeah, there should be equal opportunity for there to be a female president versus a male president. And just to be very clear, I have no issue with it. Absolutely no issue with it. But when you get into the studies now, and there are many, there are plentiful, and there are multiple that basically combine into the same information. So it's not like, oh, one says one thing, another says the other. And I'm not the channel that's going to go down 1,000 different articles and say, well, this one says this and this one says this. But the majority say by 2030, Nearly half of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single and childless. Is it by design? Is it because of feminism? Insert XYZ. Is it all the above? Is it because of men? Is it because of chivalry? Blah, 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 blah. It's all the above. So I want to be clear again, and I know I'm broken record. I say it a lot here on Spot of Nerd. I'm not saying women are to blame here. I'm not saying men are to blame here. I'm saying both of y'all are to blame. But to this gal's point, there are many, many good men out there that would kill, metaphorically speaking, to be with a woman of their dreams. Who that may be, that's up to them. That's up to their story. The amount of times I'm sure everybody's seen it on their own social media where they come across, there's not enough good men out there. Check your friend zone. Check your guy friends. There are millions of these people out there, myself included. We are great men who would make you princesses, queens, if you gave us a shot. But nowadays, my God, if we open a door, I do it. I see it I'm not, hand to God, I see it every single day. You open a door for a female now, the look you get sometimes is if somebody just broke a fart that could peel the paint off the wall. So you got to ask yourself, is it because of that? Is it chivalry because it's dead? What is it? And I ultimately do think that chivalry is dead. Does it still exist? Absolutely. I would love to shower a female partner with the amount of love that words can't describe in my own way. But most of them want the financial aspects. They want the 6 foot, the six pack, blah blah blah, the usual stuff that everybody and their mother knows about. They've seen it online, they've seen it through dating profiles, blah 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 blah. And it's one of the biggest reasons that I have backed the fuck out of relationships, because trust me, after the last one, and if you know the channel, I'm not disrespecting the girl, but to everything that girl said in that video was 100%, we'll just say allegedly, I may have experienced. And it was truly the last time I will ever do it. Because honestly, it is exhausting. It destroys you. It takes more energy and more of your soul than I don't think even I realized, to the point where it took me 40 years. And here's my little I'll need to get a sound clip of a violin. It took 40 years for me to realize, why am I giving so much to someone else when they could give two shits about me? And I know that's a pity party, throw your violin, but I'm just making the point across that video right there about modern day feminism, there is a fix. And I know you don't want to hear this, but I have to give, again, allegedly credit to Louder with Crowder, because this is where it comes from. But ladies, you got to fix your own, because you've told us to fuck off. You've told us to leave you alone. And for the first time in history, we're listening. The funny, hypocritical, ironic, whatever word it is you want to think about, that came and bit you in the ass, didn't it? Because not only did we leave you alone, we actually found better lives, peace, quiet. We now get to better ourselves. I've got more money in my bank than I've ever had before. I've got some cool fucking shit that I would, never really be able to have with a partner, potentially, at least the right one. It's fucking awesome. I get to do whatever the fuck I want. I've said this 1,000 times before. Would I love another partner, another gal? Sure, absolutely. I've always wanted a family one day. I don't know if that ever will happen. I'm getting on a bit. I don't really know if that's something in my future. But somebody to spend life with? Sure, I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't want that. But when it comes to priorities, when it comes to looking at today's world of feminism, the way that relationships are today, we went over Reddit just a couple days ago. I wouldn't touch that shit with a 10-mile pole. Just the thought of it is exhausting. When I literally, and I kid you not, and we'll wrap this episode up, there's sometimes, again, allegedly where I work, there might be an attractive woman out there. Maybe she's got some good hair. Maybe she's wearing something nice. People think I'm kidding, But I'll literally go up, and I still do this because, again, I think it's appropriate. I'll go up to a random person. I say, you know what? Your hair looks really nice today. 99.9% of these females are going to think that's creepy, it's gross, it's horrible. But I always follow it up with, and I say this in a joking, but I mean it kind of way. Oh, by the way, can you sign this waiver that says you won't sue me or try to get me jailed for complimenting you? It get usually 99.9% it gets a good chuckle. But deep down, I'm being kind of serious because that's where we are today with modern day feminism. Guys, sure, we are petrified to at least introduce ourselves, but at the same time, you want to talk about masculinity and confidence. How can we give you that when you won't even basically acknowledge that everything you're saying counter reduce what's the word where it like basically cancels each other out? Everything that we're being told. Leave us alone, but don't leave us alone. I want this, but I want that, but I have this because it's in my friend zone. I've always had it, but fuck guys. So many different things. But ultimately, I think you guys know where I'm going with it. Ladies, you gotta fix your own. It's something we can't do for you. Nor do we want to, let's be very clear, nor do we even want to do for you. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole anywhere. So let me know your thoughts. Seriously, it's a discussion I'm sure we'll bring up many more times in the future, especially if I decide to actually make a profile on Hinge or whatever it is. But I think it's a really interesting conversation to have because going down to the nitty gritty of it, let's be very clear. Birth rates, if you want to get to the data side of it, humanity will not succeed in the next 50 years, 50 to 100 years. We are literally outperforming our own selves in a relation to the population. Basically, there's going to be more old people than there are young. So who's going to wipe my ass? I don't really do that anyway, but to each his or her own. We'll just leave it there. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm going to go genuinely wipe my butt now. Later, y'all.